The crunch time of the Euros and the Copa America is here. We are in the semi-finals. 4 teams left in each competition. We have seen basically most of the games now, and it's been absolutely thrilling. I've been enjoying every minute of it. So much so, I haven't even had time to make these videos. But now we're back. Now there's more of a break in between each game, more time to do this. So let's predict the semi-finals of each competition today, because oh my gosh, this is going to be crazy. I mean, we've got some crazy matchups, like just how unpredictable things can be. I mean, I thought I could predict everything. I already said it. I said at the start, Germany to win the Euros. That obviously didn't go to plan after Michael Merino scored a beautiful goal in the 119th minute to send Spain through. I was very happy though, because I do like Spain and I hope they win the Euros. They play some beautiful, beautiful football and definitely the best in Europe right now. So should we start with them against the French, who are quite the opposite? They have yet to score a goal from open play at these Euros, and it has been 5 games. 5 games, and they've got 2 own goals and 1 penalty. It's been ugly. It's been very ugly from the French. And the game against Portugal just personified it. I mean, in extra time, it felt like both teams just wanted penalties. Both teams didn't want to go for it. I mean, France, they've had it. They haven't looked the same as they did at the World Cup. At the World Cup, they were attacking. They wanted to score goals. And Kylian Mbappe was obviously the driving force of that. He hasn't been as good, right? Now, you can point that to multiple things. Number one is the mask, right? I mean, it's very difficult to play, apparently, from what we've heard, and it makes sense, you know, your sweat gets trapped in there or whatever, fine, that makes sense. But also teams are doubling up on him, right? I mean, the Portuguese, they always had to have 2 guys on Mbappe, right? When Cancelo was marking him, it was always either Paulinho or Ruben Diaz or someone from that side would come and support to make sure Mbappe doesn't go one-on-one. And he had a few runs inside, but then there was always no one there to meet the finish in there. Colomwani, Marcus Thuram, whatever. But then they did have a few chances in the game later on, and they could have definitely won it. But they haven't. Number one, I don't think they've created enough. I still don't think they've created enough. And they also haven't been clinical enough. I think Griezmann's had a very poor Euros. But I think defensively, on the other hand, they've been very solid, right? William Saliba's had a great tournament. Koundé, Teo Hernandez, Upamecano, that is a very solid back four. Mignon in goal. Very good performance at the Euros so far. And then in front of them, the 3 midfielders, you've got Tchouaméni, you've got Kante, and you've got Camavinga. Rabiot could come back into that. I believe he was suspended for the game. Don't know if he's going to go back into the starting 11. But those 3 in midfield did look good defensively. But going forward, there was something missing. And I think we need to see more. I think we need to see, I don't know whether Colomwani or Marcus Thuram will start, or whether they'll go to Bradley Barcola, or after Dembele's very impressive cameo, where he was actually making things happen, whether he starts the next game. Whether Griezmann gets dropped, it's going to be interesting to see what they do, how they come up against the Spanish. Didier Deschamps has obviously been in these situations before. He's a World Cup winner with France as a manager and as a player, of course. Got them to another World Cup final, so he knows how these moments go. Coming up against the Spanish, who have been playing beautiful football, and I've been loving every minute of watching them. Yamal and Nico Williams. Now, Pedri is out of the Euro, so Dani Olmo, who had a very good game, is going to drop into that position. You've got Rodri, who's just had the tournament of his life. Like, I mean, not really, because he's just always solid, but he's been one of the... Something about the Euros this year is not many of the stars are showing up. Mbappe hasn't really showed up. Harry Kane hasn't showed up. Jude Bellingham, you could say, I wouldn't say he's showed up. I mean, Bruno Fernandes, he hasn't showed up. Ronaldo hasn't showed up. You know, the big guys who you thought they're going to make this tournament their own haven't really showed up. So now it's Rodri, who's one of the few like superstars, but he's another more defensive player. I think he's had a great tournament. Fabian Ruiz has been class, but they've got no Carvajal, no Lenormand, and no Alvaro Morata. How are they going to deal with the French? Obviously, on paper, Spain have been playing better, but the French are a frustrating team. They're going to frustrate Spain. I think this game finishes 1-1. I think that the French will get a goal from somewhere. I don't know how, but they'll get it from somewhere. Maybe Spain score first, and then France just kind of do what Germany did and just somehow get a goal in. And then I feel like it'll be very difficult. I don't think Spain will score more than 2 is the absolute maximum they scored. There's not a chance they score more than 2. I don't even think they score 2. I think this goes to penalties. And I think the better team will be handed the luck on penalties. And I think Spain will progress on penalties because France... I looked at Magnan's record at penalty saving. It's not very good. He didn't even save it against Portugal. It did hit the post from Joao Felix. The penalties taken by France were very good, but maybe the luck just catches up to them, and I think Spain will progress on penalties. The Dutch against the English. Oh my gosh. Crazy. England are just, like, what can you say about England? Like, realistically, how have they been playing? Not very well. But they're in a semi-finals. They've got one win, basically, out of 5 games, which isn't great. And they also haven't played the strongest opposition. And when they go 1-0 down, like they showed against Slovakia and against Switzerland, the system goes out the window. Southgate's tactics, the players just say, screw this, I need to step up. And that is exactly what Bukayo Saka did. And he just had an overall brilliant game against the Swiss. Got a fantastic goal just off the post. That is how you do it. That is how to show that you're a world-class player and you turn up in these moments. And forget about whatever your silly manager is telling you. You turn up by yourself and you score a goal like that. Take it to penalties. And once it was penalties, there was no doubt in my mind England were going to win. Cole Palmer, Ivan Toney, just... 100% they'll score. Jude Bellingham is a man for the big moments. Who else took a penalty? Trent obviously took the winning penalty, fantastic. And I can't remember who took the other one, but all just very good penalties. Akanji misses, and England are in the semi-final. The Dutch turned the game around against Turkey. I honestly, like, Turkey in the quarterfinals, great story or whatever, but I was not impressed with Turkey the whole tournament. Like, in the Czech Republic game, they absolutely robbed us, whatever, fine. It was a disgrace. And they've just been, against Austria, they set-pieced their way through, and they did it again against the Dutch. But thankfully, the Netherlands got back in it. They turned the game around. Cody Gakpo's had a fantastic tournament. Van Dijk has been amazing. I thought Schouten has been very good in these recent games as well. I feel like the Dutch have got something for England. Like, the way England have been playing, I'm sorry, it's just not convincing. Harry Kane has had an absolutely terrible tournament. He's been useless. He's not been there. He's not doing anything. He looks unfit. He looks like he doesn't want to be there. Like, I don't know what is going on over there. Jude Bellingham stepped up against Slovakia, but overall, he hasn't had a great game. Phil Foden, he's appearing in those half spaces, or he was early on against Switzerland, but really wasn't creating anything. He isn't a creative player, in my opinion. And then the English defence looked much better against Switzerland. I thought that was a bit of a boost. But overall, I just don't think these guys are... Carl Walker's also had a very poor tournament. It's going to be a tight game because, again, I don't think the Dutch are great either. Very poor group stage. They turned it on against Romania, but then, again, it's Romania. And against Turkey, who... Like, guys, let's not think that Turkey are a good team. I still do not rate Turkey. Arda Güler is fantastic. They've got a few talented players in there, Çalhanoğlu or whatever, but I feel like a few of them are frauds. Yildiz is a fraud, absolute fraud. Barış Yilmaz is an literally, I don't know what he's a bit annoying, he's a handful, but he's just not there. The Turkish offense doesn't offer enough, in my opinion. Offense doesn't offer enough other than set pieces, and the defense you've shown is very mistake prone as well. Like, I don't think this Turkey team are as good as the result suggests. So the Dutch definitely should have beaten them, and they have. So two teams that have done basically the bare minimum for what they've had to do. I think it's 1-1. And we go to extra time, and I think the Dutch nick a goal in extra time, win this game 2-1, and send England home, because England's luck will run out at some point. It will run out at some point. Either now or in the final. I'm confident they're not winning this tournament. It'll either run out now or in the final. And I think the Dutch will just do enough. Spain versus Netherlands in the final. Right, moving on to the Copa America, which has been thrilling. Like, truly magical with some of the things. And obviously, as you can see, I'm wearing the Colombia shirt. If you do not know, I am a massive fan of Colombia. Outside Czech Republic, my own country, this is the team that I love watching the most. They play the most beautiful football. And now they find themselves in a situation where they're up against Uruguay in a Copa America semi-final. But let's start with Argentina first. Argentina play against Canada. Argentina have had a very easy run. A group stage of Canada, Peru and Chile, and then a quarter-final game, which made it much harder than it needs to be against Ecuador. Now, I love Ecuador. I love Ecuador. But it was clear from the start that Argentina had to win the game. Ecuador, under Felix Sanchez, it really wasn't convincing. A 0-0 draw with a very poor Mexico team, but that's for a different video. An unconvincing 3-1 win against Jamaica, where it really didn't look great, and a loss to Venezuela. A good performance against Argentina. 1-1, Kevin Rodriguez gets a late equaliser to take it to penalties. Obviously, Ener Valencia misses the penalty in the game. It's just not great. And then on penalties, Dibu Martinez steps up. Messi fails the Panenka, but his teammates do enough. Argentina are in a semi-final up against Canada. Canada, great. Honestly, it's unbelievable that they're here. They should be a semi-final, the furthest CONCACAF team at the Copa America. They should be so happy. They managed to scrape through Venezuela on penalties, and they put up a very good fight. Venezuela are a good, very good team. The fact that Canada managed to get through that is very impressive. But I just don't think they have a prayer in hell of taking down on Argentina. I just don't see it. Like, they honestly, it's unbelievable that they've been here. Like, it's crazy. Full respect to Canada. But Argentina win this 1-2-0. I just think Lautaro Martinez is cooking. Messi is Messi. De Paul. At the back, Lisandro Martinez. I think McAllister's been good. Dibu Martinez in goal. It's just overall a great team. And I don't think the Canadians have got enough. I think 2-0. And I think this would be a very easy run for Argentina to get to the final. But who would they face in the final? Uruguay or Colombia? This is the closest one to call. I think this is the closest one to call because Uruguay have just come off a 0-0 draw against a not-so-great Brazil team and then a win on penalties. The team overall, they're also going to be missing Araujo due to injury and Nandez due to suspension. So that could cost Uruguay as well. They've got a good team, though. They've got a very good team. I would say, on paper, second best in the Americas behind Argentina. Valverde, Ugarte, Darwin Núñez. You know, Araujo, but he's obviously going to be injured. Matias Oliveira, I thought he was very good against Brazil. It's just a good team. Nicolas de la Cruz is good as well. It's just a stacked team of talent. And Marcelo Bielsa is a proper manager as well, right? We know Bielsa ball. It's going to be frustrating. I think it was something like 41 fouls in the Uruguay-Brazil game, which was like a record. It was unbelievable. Nandez then gets the red card, which was just very silly. And I feel like if the Copa America had extra time, I think Brazil would have gone on to win the game. But Brazil, let's not act let's not act surprised that they're out in the quarterfinals. They are mid. They are mid. A 0-0 draw to Costa Rica, then Paraguay basically handed them a 4-1 victory, and Paraguay were the second worst team at the tournament. And then a 1-1 draw with Colombia, where they really got outplayed and just got lucky. But against Uruguay, I thought they were pretty good. I mean, Rafinha went 1-on-1 against Rochette, didn't go his way. And then on the penalties, Eder Militao and Douglas Luiz missed the penalties, and Uruguay are in the semi-finals. But I feel like it really hasn't been convincing from Uruguay. With the amount of talent in this team, and how much hype they've been getting, and how good they should be with the way they were playing before the tournament and in the group stages, Colombia is going to be a big test for them. Now let's move on to Colombia because, oh my gosh, I have loved watching this team again. Just never let you down with the way they play. In the group stages, it was cruise control. They got over Costa Rica and Paraguay and then dominated Brazil not to get the result. But against Panama, 5-0. And Panama are a good team who took down the USA, granted with 10 men, but who put up a good fight against Uruguay in the group stages. And Panama just capitulated. I don't know what happened. Maybe it was also the absence of Coco Carrasquilla. James Rodriguez. Oh my gosh. Can we just talk about James? Vintage James Rodriguez. It's 10 years since his iconic display at World Cup 2014 that made me fall in love with football. That was unbelievable. And he's at it again. He's at it again. The top assister. He's also the second top assister in Copa America history. And he's been the best player at this tournament by a country mile. He's been unbelievable. And he's going to show out against Uruguay again, no doubt about it. Luis Diaz, very, very good at this tournament. John Cordoba is a fantastic player. Richard Rios has had a fantastic tournament in DM next to Uribe and John Arias. Daniel Munoz is the best right back in CONMEBOL, full stop. He's been unbelievable. Carlos Cuesta, Davinson Sanchez, and Mojica. I don't know if John Lucumi is back. If he is, another big boost for Colombia. It's going to be fantastic. This Uruguayan team have proven that they're going to frustrate. They're not going to concede goals, right? They really won't. And they're going to try their best to keep it tight. But I think Colombia, I have a feeling. I'm so buzzing watching this Colombia team. I'm just getting excited for it. It's just been so much fun. It's unreal the way they're playing. Just the samba football, the dancing, the fast, rapid pace, just the runs in behind from everything. The fans as well. Oh my gosh, Colombia might have the best fans in the world. The amount of atmosphere they bring in these games, it's going to have a big impact on the players. And I think, I said before the tournament, I think Colombia are lifting this trophy. I'm sticking to it. Colombia 1, Uruguay 0. Uruguay will frustrate, but Colombia will do enough. 1-0. I think it might be a James Rodriguez, another wonder goal. This is also a rematch of the game in the 2014 World Cup where James scored that fantastic volley, that Puskas winning goal that just made you realise how special this kid is. And he's one of the best international players in the 21st century. Like, seriously, for players, if we're just judging them for what they've done for their country, he's up there with some of the best. He's up there where, in South American football, he's absolutely up there. With how long he's served Colombia, the World Cups he's gotten them to, and what he's done at those World Cups, Copa Americas as well, and he's doing it again. He's unbelievable. Oh my gosh. I love him, and I love this whole team, and I love the way they're playing, and I think Uruguay have been disappointing overall. In the game against Brazil, it was disappointing. Against the USA, I think it was disappointing as well. You could say they didn't need to get the win, fine, but I just think that the final of the Copa America will be Argentina-Colombia. And that would be beautiful. That would be unbelievable, because I seriously think this Colombia team can easily go toe-to-toe with Argentina, fighting for that Copa America trophy. No doubt about it. I think they're on a 26-game unbeaten run. Like, honestly, I'm loving it. Nestor Lorenzo has done a fantastic job as manager of Colombia. I'm really riding this train, and I hope it continues. I hope they win the Copa. I'll be so, so happy. Right, thank you guys for watching till the end of this video. Grill me in the comments if you want for my predictions, which could age terribly. But thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys soon.